there's so much data that the best thing to do right now is correlate the data, do the 3D mapping, and then yes, we'll ramp up exploration.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. Joining me now is Jared Laserson. He is the CEO of North Bay Resources. And Jared, good to see you again. How are you?
Doing great. How about yourself, Steve?
Doing well, thanks very much. And company out with some results from the Murex project, which is in British Columbia. Before we get to the results themselves and what was done, maybe just tell me a bit about the Murex project. It has a rich history.
Yes, that's correct. It's a well-known deposit, Vancouver Island. Uh, Goes way back, probably to the late 50s. The major exploration was done by Noranda, which is now Glencore. Substantial exploration in the 80s. We actually know the history. Our geologist, just by coincidence, was on that team. I asked him why they left that project after really spectacular results, mineralized zones of in excess of 300 feet. And he actually had the inside scoop on this, which was that there'd been another discovery by Noranda out by Highland Valley Copper in the interior of BC. And the executives in Toronto decided to move the prime exploration team out there. Had nothing to do with the project, and the project sat for the better part of. We're now talking upwards of 30 years, 25 years. So it's come to us, and it's spectacular. And as you can see from the results, it looks like we've dialed it in. We've found a lot of stuff over the years at around 1% copper, but it looks like we've found the heart of it now at upwards of 9% copper at surface, and that correlates with significant nearby drill hole of over 150 feet of copper at a 0.5%. So I think we're getting to it.
Yeah, so this update today was really about the work that was done in the summer. So there was a lot of things that were done, including a lot of sampling, mapping, all that kind of stuff, right?
That's correct. It wasn't a huge sampling program, but like I said, there's been so much work done that it's more about correlating the data and really dialing in locations for future exploration, which would be more serious and intensive, such as drilling, bulk sampling. But we have the data. We're correlating the data right now. We kind of re-up the project just really in the last few months as exploration information started to come in. Like I said earlier in the summer, we were hitting more in the 1% copper range, which was consistent with prior assays. But you spend enough time on a project, and you can be fortunate enough to dial it in. And like I said, we've now found really the heart of it, the high grade zone, and it correlates with very deep drill holes that were done by Noranda, and we trust those results. I think that we can have confidence that, like I said, Noranda slash Glencore did solid work. And not to reiterate the point, but our geo was on that team in the late 80s doing that exploration. So I think we can kind of trust past work, and really the key is it looks like we have it dialed in. The results are spectacular.
Yeah.
It's rare to get results in this grade.
So Jared, how do you follow up on this now? You mentioned that there's obviously more work to be done, so I would imagine that's in 2025.
Actually, we're going pedal to the metal here. No pun intended. We just ramped up our data correlation, 3D mapping. All that stuff will occur shortly here, really starting this week. We just filed a assessment report with the province of British Columbia. That'll be available on the website shortly. It outlines the 2024 exploration plus all the historical. And no, we're not sitting back on this at all. Like I said, there's so much data that the best thing to do right now is correlate the data, do the 3D mapping, and then yes, we'll ramp up exploration. But until there's snow and so forth, we can continue to work at this property and advance particularly advance permitting and really begin to strategize. Like I said, a lot of the exploration's done. There's not that much more that we're going to really add to the exploration. Really, the key is deciding what the next move is in terms of looking at small production, resource estimate. That's a strategic decision that'll get made in the next 60 days.
All right, we'll leave it there. Jared, thank you so much. Good update. Appreciate your time.
Great. Thank you, Steve.
All right, Jarrett Laserson, the CEO of North Bay Resources.